Hi, my name is Chinmay Thakur. We will do cardiac examination today, so that's okay for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, let's start.
The general appearance of the patient provides many clues to cardiac illness. Observe and note the patient's color, respiratory rate, and level of anxiety. Measure the blood pressure and heart rate. For heart rate, palpate the radial pulse using the pads of your index and middle fingers. To estimate the jugular venous pressure, make the patient comfortable. Raise the head slightly on a pillow to relax the sternocleidomastoid muscles. Examine both the sides of neck, then turn patient's head slightly to the left since the physical examination is conducted from the patient's right side. Find the internal jugular venous pulsations. Look for the oscillation points along the sternocleidomastoid muscle between the clavicle and the angle of the jaw or just posterior to sternocleidomastoid muscle. Identify the highest point of pulsation in the right jugular vein. Extend a long rectangular object or card horizontally from this point and a centimeter ruler vertically from the sternal angle, making an exact right angle. Measure the vertical distance in centimeters above the sternal angle where the horizontal object crosses the ruler. Next, examine the carotid pulse. The carotid pulse provides valuable information about cardiac function, especially aortic valve stenosis and regurgitation. Inspect and palpate both right and left carotid artery. Avoid pressing on both carotid arteries at once. This may decrease the blood flow to the brain and induce syncope. Your assessment will include palpation to assess the amplitude and contour of carotid upstroke and auscultation for the presence or absence of thrills or bruits from turbulent blood flow. For auscultation, ask the patient to stop breathing for a moment, then listen with diaphragm of stethoscope. For cardiac examination, stand at the patient's right side. The patient should be supine with the upper body and head of the bed or examining table raised to about 30 degrees. First, inspect the anterior chest, noting any heaves or lifts. Careful inspection may also reveal the location of apical impulse. Now proceed with general palpations of the chest wall. First, palpate for heaves or lifts using your finger pads, holding them flat or obliquely on the body surface. Then check for thrills by pressing the ball of your hand firmly on the chest in the same locations. To identify the apical impulse, ask the patient to roll partly onto left side into left lateral decubitus position. Palpate using palmar surfaces of the hand. If you cannot find the impulse, ask the patient to exhale fully and stop breathing for a few seconds. Once you find the apical impulse, make finer assessment with your fingertips and then with one finger. Note the location, diameter, amplitude, and duration of apical impulse. Ask the patient to exhale and briefly stop breathing, then place the tips of your curved fingers in the left, third, fourth, and fifth interspaces to palpate for the systolic impulse of the right ventricle. Then palpate for the right ventricle in the epigastric or subxiphoid area. auscultation of heart sounds and murmurs is a preeminent skill that leads directly to important clinical diagnosis. Start at either the base or apex. Concentrate on each of the events in the cardiac cycle, listening carefully to the S1, then S2, then other sounds and murmurs occurring in systole and diastole. To detect mitral stenosis, ask the patient to roll into the left lateral decubitus position, which brings the left ventricle closer to the chest wall. Place the bell of your stethoscope lightly on the apical impulse and listen carefully. To detect aortic regurgitation, ask the patient to sit up, lean forward, exhale completely, and briefly stop breathing after expiration. Pressing the diaphragm of your stethoscope on the chest, listen along the left sternal border and at the apex, pausing periodically so the patient may breathe.